Hi everybody, welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft Season 5, Episode 34 with me, Sid, and around our nicely relit area. I've just been working in the forge to get a few bits and pieces ready before we start this episode, and before we do anything, let's sleep. So we recently we've done iron. We've got to bloomery. We've got a rudimentary iron setup on the basis that the iron we have is quite frankly pretty poor. So I have made myself a new chisel because that one's on the verge of collapsing, and I've also made myself a bronze knife because these last no time at all. So yeah, that's a thing. We've got spare axes, we've got various bits and pieces here. We need to take you and you and you, and then we need to go and pick up a few bits and pieces from around the base. So we are going to head out and try and check out the other limonite sources within easy striking distance of where we are. These should all be empty, so that's, in fact, let's unseal that and let me go over to wooden items and grab 1, 2, 3 of those. Anything else we need? I don't think so. So we can grab one of them. That can take all of those and they can go in there. We can seal, and we can always, it's in the water. I guarantee it's in the water. There it is. Whee! Yeah, so in terms of where we are going, we're going to head, this is where we went last time. We're going to head, and I'll probably walk around, I think. Maybe walk around, go straight that way, and then head over here. I'm just going to see whether we spot any other traces, but there's 4 traces of limonite there, which should be better than the one we got. And there's one down here as well, but let's stick to what we've got in the immediate area. The other thing is time is a ticking on, so we are now in late winter, 13th of Feb, so very shortly we should start seeing somebody died. I don't want it because there's not a huge amount of use for bone meal. We should start hopefully seeing some crops starting to show up in the not too distant future, and I mean that's not a great deal of use to anybody, but you know, if we see any others cropping up, then we'll be in a position hopefully to take advantage. Although there won't be anything growing, but we should start to get our farm in this year, which will be a big difference. You know, that's going to be the difference between us doing like, interesting. See, if the advantage to walking over the advantage to of boats get you everywhere you want to go, lovely and fast, and you know, I don't think anybody's going to dispute the fact that boats are a good way of getting around. But the problem with boats is that they very much like the hang glider, when we get to the point where we can build a hang glider, and we're going to need a fair amount of leather for that, so I'm going to have to get a leather treatment shack built into Lake Town before, sooner rather than later anyway. But the disadvantage to flying or boating and not using Longshank Mare is you often miss details. You can miss ore traces on the ground, which doesn't always seem like a lot. We should actually take the cows to watch where we're going as well, to be fair. That could have been unpleasant. See there, here we go. There's another possibility of bismuth. Now, given that we've been running around searching for bismuth, the fact that there's bismuth this close, or potentially bismuth this close, is you know, handy. Because we might not have to go hunting for it next time we want it. And we will want it. We're going to need it for things. I can't remember. I think black steel, or certainly one of the steels we have to make use as bismuth, and then obviously this rose gold is used in another steel alloy, and all sorts of good things like that. So yeah, walking, you can't actually beat it for getting a feel of the terrain around you, and getting a feel of the terrain around you is going to be pretty crucial long term for your survival, because pistachio tree, that's an early autumn, so we're not going to see anything off of that for the best part of a year, or now, but you know, doesn't matter, there will be more. Now I didn't catch what that was, and I should probably, it's a deer, just because, you know, bears. I think we don't need to say any more than that, do we? Just bears. There you go. Another one, see? Silver, question mark. And these are bits we've all probably missed because we've skirted around the area fairly quickly in a boats most of the time. But there is definitely some silver traces in the area, which is nice. Silver's going to come in very handy later. It's usually the other way around, to be honest. It's usually gold I find loads of, and silver is the one that's often very elusive. So that's a peculiarity in its own right, but there you go. Anyway, let's have a quick peek at the map. Where am I? I am here. So where is the nearest? Probably the nearest is going straight over to that one. So let's start there, and we'll work on from that point, and that looks like a ravine, so we'll have a little cheeky pit. That is coal. I don't need to go down and look at that. I know coal when I see it. It's going to be a bit of a pig to get down to as well, so we'll leave that well alone for the time being, and I will head on over, and well, I'll be back when we get there, unless something crops up interesting in the meantime. Alright, limonite. So there's a trace of limonite there, tracers. Now we just need to zero in on where the limonite actually is, and that doesn't seem to be it. So I'm going to guess that the limonite is more this direction. Magnetite. So we've got two different ore veins of iron. Now this is shale. I'm not entirely sure. What time is it? Let me quickly just do a TFC ore check. If you're ever unsure, always jump onto the TFC wiki and go and have a look at what so this is shale, limonite and magnetite both occur near the top, so they should be fairly close by. We've just got to find them. Oops, didn't want to do that. Oop, careful. Interesting that it really does not want to be giving out any of its secrets, does it? It's a new amaranth plant. It's got to be on that other side, and just maybe a bit deeper down than it's letting on. That's the only possibility I can think of. Selenite and amber down were some traces, so I think selenite was glowstone off the top of my head, so that one's useful to know about, but this really is not being forthcoming. I think we're going to have to go down a wee bit and see what we can find. So the question is where, because that's magnetite and that's limonite. It's got to be in this kind of area. We also need to quickly sleep the night away, so I shall do that, and then I'm going to start hopefully a reasonably controlled descent down, and yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Alright, we're heading down, and we're finding there's a large sample of cassiterite and a small sample of limonite. This bit always makes me nervous. This is the bit where disaster can strike, because if a cave-in happens beneath us, we're much closer to the cassiterite than the limonite, I think. And let me just double check. Cassiterite does not form in shale. It's in a lower layer, so that's got to be in the middle layer of this. Yeah, we've gone past the limonite. It's got to be somewhere else, because this is now the point where the cassiterite is down here. So this is not the sinkhole we're looking for. We are going to have to head back up, and I'll probably leave this sinkhole because there's a definite cassiterite vein down there, and we may want to come back for it. Ladders are cheap enough anyway, so but I always get nervous that initial descent. If that cave collapses underneath us, we're in some serious trouble. May actually chop a tree down and make a cap for this, just so I don't inadvertently go and walk straight down it, because you know what I'm like. In fact, I will do. Let me go and have spruce. A little bit of spruce will go a long way eventually. Oh man. Yeah, let's go and grab you, cap it off with some spruce blocks. There we go, and we need to find another point to go down. Now I'm tempted to try further over this way. Really got nothing much to lose and everything to gain, so yeah. We may also not have to go through that gravel, the massive gravel layer that we had. Or we will, depending on what happens, you know. Let's have a, where's me small sample of magnetite. I don't really care which I find, to be honest. I will be happy with either. Medium sample. We're getting closer. Alright, I'm going to keep on going down. If you are doing this, one word of advice: keep your ears open for any distant cave-ins, because they'll give you a clue as to whether you're running any danger. Medium sample. We're definitely getting closer to that magnetite. Alright, let me have a look at this, and I'll be back in a bit. Alright, that area was proving awkward. I sunk 3 shafts, didn't really get anything beyond a medium sample. Now I know we've got limonite flagged over here. There's not a huge amount of land it can spawn on, so in terms of its the possibility of it being here, very large sample of limonite. It's got to be almost on top. We've got to be almost on top of it, haven't we? I don't see how we can not be. Oh, it's poor. Puff, 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 puff. It's handy to know it's here. But yeah, it's poor. So let's put in a iron mine 15. Save, and then if we go into our journey map, we should be able to remove that one. So that's an iron mine. That one is still question mark. Let's head for this one up here. Get the boat out, take it for a little spin. Not the gravel, the boat. We'll get there eventually. I just need to, ideally, we just want to find some either 25 or 35 quality iron. 25 is ideal because you can only put 24 ingots into a thing, which means you get 6 ingots of iron per 24 charcoal. Whereas with the poor limonite, you are closer to, I think it's what was it, 3 for 20, which is not a good trade-off on charcoals. So we're going to come and have a look at this limonite over here. I think if we can find a safe point to lump in. Yeah, you can go. I don't want you. I'll get rid of the stones as well when we get to where we're going. I could do with some fresh water, which is handy because it's just there, and then we can continue on with the mission to find the elusive limonite, or the elusive iron of a decent quality. We found one. The other two, I mean, again, with that area where there's a limonite and magnetite, if we have we got, I can never actually checked in this one. Do we have a quarry in this? We do. We have Buildcraft. I mean, yeah, we are miles away from ever having it. You know, it's. But if you recall from season 4, here we go, limonite. We small sample, large sample of amber, tracers. So it's not that way. Don't care about your amber. Small sample. Traces of amber. Traces of limonite. It's got to be kind of tracers. It's got to be back here. Kind of, and then down, I would have said, somewhere in this area. I'm going to set up the bed. We'll pop down our thing. We'll get rid of some of this, and we're going to go and see if we can't find this little vein of limonite. It's got to be down here somewhere, so we've got a little bit of time. Oh, and lovely, it's straight into rock. Large sample of amber, small sample of limonite. Let's see whether this sample gets any stronger as we go down. And hopefully, we'll be caving proof, but that will be something to see, won't it? Large sample. Come on. Alright, I'm going to keep on going, and I'll be back in a little while. Wasn't happy with that one. I only sank one hole. I definitely was hearing mobs, so that equals caves, which makes any kind of exploration like that dangerous. Certainly I'm reasonably armoured, you know, and I wouldn't class myself as weak or anything. I'm going to mark the selenite here. In fact, let me just put surface selenite. I'm not going to take it right now, but that's on there. We did find traces of silver back there, although, as we've noticed, silver is not the rarest of things available to us in the game. So Although we haven't actually found any surface silver or anything, we're still going to have to mine for the damn stuff, but you can see it's everywhere. A bit of granite poking up through here. I noticed this area doesn't have a huge amount explored about it, so I just thought it might be worthwhile checking it out, because you never know. It's still shale, so it's the right rock for iron ores. And because we've not really had a good look around here, we might be lucky. You never know. Worst case scenario is it's just a waste of time. I've obviously unlocked this area, but I've come past it, but I may not have searched it very well, so we'll have a good look while we're here, because it'd be wrong not to. And then we'll go back to that last trace of limonite that we got on the map, and that might be the local source as well. Certainly the local sources in this direction exhausted. We've got a couple of 15s and that's about it, which, yeah, not ideal, but there you go. Let me just go back onto here. So I'm here and I want to be there. I'm also curious about this area over here, because I don't think that's been explored thoroughly either, or if it has, I've not marked stuff on. Either way, it's a terrible sin. And we need to rectify it. Plus, it's not that big a job to go searching around here and then come back down and come down to the limonite down there, is it? So that's my thought process. I'm going to do that, and I shall be back in a moo. All right, this is the last area. The sun's not down yet, but it is getting there. We're seeing, if it's here, it's deep enough that we can't detect it, which means we're going to have to dig down some way anyway. I just need to get a try and get a feel for where we think it is, but this has not been a successful trip. And again, I could be more bloody minded about this and is, you know, really hang around trying to find that one trace. Sorry, I keep on hearing my own footsteps. But I think we're going to have to just bite the bullet and go. We've got limonite there. It goes as far over as there. And here, I mean, it's really not a great trace at all, but traces of petrified wood, which you really don't want. That's useless. Right, well, we need to quickly sleep the night off, and then I'm going to just have to burrow down and hopefully we get lucky this time, but we'll see how we go. See you in a bit. We appear to be on the right track. I sunk a shaft over that way, and I was only finding traces. Now we're finding a very large sample of limonite. So with a bit of luck, we may actually manage to find this one. Because I've forgotten what the range is on. I can never remember the range on these prospectors picks, but it's not that far. So it would be really nice if we could find it, because my pro pick is getting very worn, and yeah, but still in the vicinity of it. The question is, where the hell is it? Still there. All right, I'm going to keep looking. Back in a wee bit. Found it. Third sinkhole. We've come down, and will you look at that? Rich limonite. That really is something. It's a sight for sore eyes. Now the question is, of course, is have I got a hammer on me? I haven't. No, that was not the question, by the way. The question is, how much is the, on which direction is it going? Because that is just the first piece that we've found. So let us be a little bit more selective now and carefully mine out the area. I've been a little bit, probably a little bit reckless. Oh, there we go. That will do me nicely. I don't want you. I would like you. Yeah, I've been a little bit reckless over there, if I'm honest. But, you know, take your chances. I mean, this limonite is here. We are in the right area. And as I say, it's rich, which is really handy. Because rich limonite is going to make us a lot of iron. And we're going to need a lot because we need 14 ingots before we start, just to out there some, just to do the anvil. And then once we've got an anvil, then we can start to make iron tools. And with iron tools, well, you know, things start getting interesting. I'm going to keep on going down for the time because I've lost the tracers. They've got to be around here somewhere. And I don't really want to start collapsing roofs on myself yet. Although I might have to take a chance on a few choice blocks like that. I just need to find out which way this this is going, really. Don't like it. I'm just going to go a little bit further down. Anyway, I've already got five whole, very nice, rich limonites. I need to find the rest of it. So again, I shall be back in a mo. All right. Well, I'm going to guess that I'm getting close to time. In fact, if I were to pause briefly and just have a look at my recorded time so far, I will see I'm at 27 minutes. So coming close-ish to time, not desperately close, but I have managed to track the limonite vein in the direction it's heading, which is kind of over here, down there, there. So it's kind of going back up from where we are. Now I've got a sneaking suspicion that we may encounter the ocean, because the ocean, I think, is that way, but that's fine. I will take my chances with the sea for a good quality ore like this. You know, we don't want any rubbish, do we? We want good quality ores. Now, the other thing with this high quality limonite is we can't actually use it to fill a bloomery, because if you take what if we take 35 and multiply it by 24 pieces, that's 840, which is 8 ingots and oddments. So ideally what you really want is maybe you need to take like 40 out of that equation, which would be 2, but that would then leave you with 30 short, which would be 2 take 2 of the highs out, put 2 lows in, that will take you to 800. So that's probably the best way to go as a guess. But we need to grab this stuff, and yeah, I don't really need to drag you along on that particular journey. There's plenty to be going around, so I'm going to certainly be not sparing this chisel because it's my old chisel, and I'm going to hunt around and try and get as much of this stuff out of the ground as I can. And then next episode we can actually start and move ourselves firmly into the Iron Age, which would be great because, again, I'm just going to plonk a torch down. The durability, for example, on, let's have a look at a pick. So it's got to be a TFC pick. So a bronze pickaxe, for example, is 1300, as is a bismuth bronze is only 1200, so there is actually a benefit to that. Black bronze is actually slightly more at 1460, but a iron is 2200, so the durability goes up considerably. Again, if you look at a sword, and we're good to go to TFC, the bismuth bronze sword has got 210 attack damage with a 1200. And if we were to go and look at a normal bronze sword, it's 220, it's slightly sharper. Again, the black bronze, if we were to go there, is slightly more again. And if we were to look at the iron, it's higher again. And, you know, it's just better. You know, there's just no doubt about it. It's also going to open up other mods. I think things like TerraFirmaCraft, for example, are going to be quite heavily gated behind iron, because you need, if you remember, you need a lot of iron plates to make your thaumium. So yeah, I think we're going to find that this stuff is going to be really, really important going forward. So yeah, on that note, thank you very much for watching, guys. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye for now.